I might need to change when I record stuff because I feel like the lighting is going to be an issue. And I need it to not be an issue. I don't even have my microphone on. I am a mess. Hello, you beautiful people! David here, or Sin City Yeti, or just Yeti, whichever you prefer, and I'm gonna do a different kind of painting. And I've been doing these paintings for a really long time. Like, I can remember pieces I did when I was a really little child that would technically be a part of this series. Just a heads up for this video. It's still gonna kind of be scary, but not like fun Halloween scary. This is more dealing with my emotions. I want to put that out there just in case it's like you're dealing with your own kind of stuff and, you know, like taking on other people's issues or maybe listening to it might just compound your own. You might want to take a break from this video, come back when you're like in a better mental space. That's fine. However, like this is going to be dealing with my feelings, what I'm struggling with, and that intertwines itself with current events. So again, like there's another thing. If you are not in a space that you want to deal with that, I understand. This may not be the video for you. However, I also want this video to be a reminder, like, you're not alone out there. There are people struggling and possibly feeling the same way you're feeling. So this is just kind of like how I'm coping with it, how I'm processing those emotions, how I'm getting them out, some of my own issues that I'm seeing going on. And I'm also going to put out there, like, my emotions are not up for debate. So I am not going to be arguing with anybody in the comments. I don't get a ton of them, but I do get some. I just delete your comment and then you cannot comment on my video anymore. It's as easy as that. So if you like my art, please take it for what it is. Otherwise, like, I'm gonna be processing stuff. Things are gonna come up that I am struggling with. My entire life is political, whether I want it to be or not. I don't have a choice in this being in an interracial gay marriage. I don't have a choice. I have to deal with this. So this is me processing feelings that are going on right now, what I've been doing, that kind of stuff. And I know some of you in my audience may also feel some of the ways that I'm feeling. So maybe this will help you out and you can like process your own emotions so that you don't get burnt out. You don't let these negative emotions take over and you're able to stay focused and grounded in ways that you need to. So that's like the whole purpose of this video. So if you haven't gathered, I'm going to be making a painting for my emotional state series. And you may have seen some of them before. I've done a couple happier emotions. Some of my emotions have been more negative. There's like, you know, this one, melancholy. Then of course, there's one I did for Courageous Painting, for her collaboration Resolve. And some of them have been kind of close to my emotional state series, like my processing trauma series where there's like protect your peace. So like they're kind of intertwined. They are separate series, but they do intertwine a little bit. And I feel like I need to get another one of those paintings out because not every little aspect of an emotion can get into a painting. Sometimes little seeds of them stay, and that's what's going on right now. There's little seeds that are still staying, and I don't want to bottle them up. I don't want to kick them to the curb and say, you're not welcome here, because that's not going to help me. And I need healthy ways to be able to process my emotions and kind of sit with them. That's what this series is. So enough of my yapping. Like, I'm just rambling right now. I know you guys want to see what I'm creating. I have talked long enough. This is going to be a really long intro, and I apologize. I'm so sorry. I have no idea what I'm going to create. I have nothing in my head yet, so let's just go ahead and get to it. So enough of my face. Let's go see what I paint. Okie dokie, so here we go. I got some new stuff out. There are some hints. I'm sure you guys can see the little hints and recognize some of them, then some of my old artwork, but we're here for an emotional state painting. So I figure I would like talk about this. I got asked this question about like my sketchbook. It's just a hardback sketchbook that I really like. I don't use it too much, but it's like the perfect thickness for canvases, and I just put it in there. I don't push down on the canvas too much, but that's not super important. Anyways, I got this canvas right here. So this canvas was a painting I started. I didn't really like the direction it was going. It just kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies of like weird fingers coming out from a hole, like almost like a biblically accurate hand or something. I don't know, I've been sitting on it because I was like, I could finish this, but I lost all interest in this one. Don't know what emotion to put in it, and I was gonna paint it white and just start a new painting over it. But I feel like this works for the painting I'm wanting to make, so we're just gonna use it like this. I'm not gonna paint over it white or anything like that, but yeah. Then watch me fidget with this little candy skull for a little bit, trying to set it all up because I wanna have a nice clean space, but like aesthetic.
Aesthetically and scientifically perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, I'm struggling. I have been struggling with this piece, and this should give you an idea of how much I was struggling. So like I set all that up and I hit stop record for some reason, or I think my head may have hit it. So it stopped recording and I was just sitting there painting away thinking I was recording. I wasn't. And then I went to stop so I could refresh my water and kind of like do that kind of stuff. Refresh my water and come back. And that was when I kind of like realized like, wait a second, I'm recording. Okay. But I was just having a moment. It was just, when we're all frazzled, full of emotions, sometimes little simple things slip our minds, and this is just one of them. So yeah, this is when I finally realized like, oh, I've been recording this whole time and I'm not painting, so like I'm just gonna pretend like this is what I did. See, I only went in with purple. I didn't do too much.
Honey, you're all frazzled.
Which is the truth. I didn't do too much, but like still, there was a noticeable difference from the way it looked when I first brought it up to how it looks right now. But now we can get into it. So I went in with purple. Purple felt right. It felt like it was a good representation for me and just my emotions. So like that was my staple color. It felt right. Went in with some yellow, and I'm just kind of like bringing out whatever I'm seeing in the moment, and I'm not even thinking about it. It's just kind of like, oh, this looks like that. Oh, this looks like that. Oh, this looks like that. And started making it look like lava. You know, just that kind of stuff. Just trying to like bring out things that my brain is associating. And I think while I'm doing this and you guys watching where my mind is going and what it's bringing out in this painting, I would like to point out like there are other artists I'm sure a lot of you follow or seen or know about that do something similar to this. They just execute it in a different way. One of the biggest examples I can think of right off the top of my head, Creative Paula. Creative Paula does this. She paints with her emotions. She lets them out onto the canvas. She does it in a very different way than what I do, but that's what she does. And when you look at her art, she goes into it the same way that I do. We don't have necessarily a preconceived notion of what it's going to look like. We don't go out with an end goal in mind. We're creating and we're letting something out. Creative Paula uses a lot of natural elements, uses a lot of flowing color choices. She also does, you know, a lot of second guessing that comes out into her work. I could tell just from watching her and the way that she creates. And that translates into her art. Like she's still letting it out. She's still making space for that and she's letting it out. Sometimes it turns into an artistic tantrum and she ends up throwing the whole thing away. Other times she tries to work with it. And I think that's a very beautiful element of Creative Paula's process. Just the way that she creates with her own emotions. They help her decide what she's feeling color-wise, what she's feeling element-wise. Like if she wants to go with more of a nature scene, more of just colors, more of like this rocky textures, and she likes patterns, and it's very peaceful. It invokes serenity. And I think that's what she's doing with it. She's doing it to create space for joy, to create space for happiness, and to maybe inspire other people. And she's doing that. She is creating with her emotions. I'm doing the same thing, but I'm executing it in a different way. My end goal isn't to invoke new feelings. It's just to kind of showcase my inner feelings and give space to those inner feelings. So we're going about it in a different way. That's where like our differences start to set in. So for me, I go with colors, and the colors right now, they're starting to look a little jarring, and the emotions I'm dealing with, they're jarring emotions. I don't like these emotions. In my past, what I would do with these emotions is I would bottle them up. I didn't want to deal with them. I didn't want to see them. So I'm using these bright colors, and they're contrasting colors, and they're really like fighting each other here. That's part of what I'm feeling. That's why I chose these colors. The yellow and the purple are fighting each other. There's a blue undertone to the purple that I purposely put in there, Prussian blue, and it's fighting this orange, and it's helping me actually like see new things within this painting and understand other feelings and emotions that I'm associating with this. So like I want to scream, I feel sad, I feel angry, I'm not happy with the way things are going right now, or the things that I'm seeing, or people that I know and what they're dealing with. What this administration within the US is doing to people, and what it's bringing out in other people, and those that are cheering for all of the suffering and the pain that is going on, and the fact that our president is totally getting fed AI BS and believing it and acting upon it, and he's being shown these AI videos of cities that are supposedly under war, and now he's sending in troops to them, and it's impacting people I know, it's impacting people I don't know, but all I do know is that I see a lot of suffering from it and people cheering it on, and I don't understand why. Like that just feels so fitting for what I'm dealing with. And then we're coming to a point where like I want to just like recognize in this moment, when I was making this painting, I was not enjoying it. I was not having fun. I wanted to stop. I wanted to do something else, and I wanted to ignore these emotions that are coming out that I'm sitting in. That's the biggest problem. And I shouldn't say it's a problem, but that's the biggest thing.
Then obviously you have got some heavy emotion stirring in you.
When I'm making these paintings, I'm creating space for parts of me I don't like. These emotions are a part of me. I don't like them, but they are a part of me. And I'm sitting there creating space for this, and I wasn't enjoying it. I was struggling with this. I felt like I was just... It made me feel like I was pathetic in a way. And I was just really struggling with that aspect. Just how much this painting was making me feel like I'm pathetic just because of the emotions I'm sitting in there with. This sadness, wanting to scream, this anger, this loneliness, so much negativity. And it's not a fun place to be. And because it's not a fun place to be, that's why I'm sitting in it and I'm giving it space. Our default, at least my default, is to ignore it, to bottle it up, not deal with it, and only concentrate on my own life.
I'm not dealing with this.
But going into like a prior piece that I had worked on, which was protect your peace, that's not protecting your peace. Ignoring things isn't protecting your peace because it's not going away. It's still there. And sometimes protecting your peace means taking action to ensure that since your peace can't be protected right now, ensuring that it's going to be protected in the future. That's why I've been going to protests. That's why I've been calling my elected officials. That's why I'm seeing what things I can donate to if they're not in my area that will help those who are in immediate need, since my area is not in immediate need. What I can do to support those that are helping others. So those are actions that I have been taking to try to protect my peace for the future. So that's where I'm at with this. It's just, I'm struggling to get it out, and ignoring it isn't helping. I need to take action with it. So putting it on the canvas, sitting with the emotions, we're creating this.
He's handling this well.
And you can see like this is taking some turns. And it's because like I'm seeing different things and I'm bringing them out when I'm seeing them, then I move on to something else and I see something else. And so I'm just kind of jumping around. I don't have an end goal. I'm not trying to necessarily make pretty art. I'm not trying to go into this with some kind of end goal. It's what my brain is telling me I'm seeing. While I'm sitting in these emotions, what am I seeing with it? And so this is where the lava really started coming out. Like the brokenness that I'm feeling within current world events, that's coming out in this like this lava texture, like the dried lava. That's where this is coming from. Like just the brokenness that I feel within the human experience right now. Just within the world. That's what I'm letting out. I need to create space for it. So you got like all the jagged pieces of the dried lava, and then it's kind of helping refine all of these weird like squiggles of yellow to make them really look like lava. I almost felt like they kind of looked like when you've been crying for a long time and your eyes are bloodshot and you got like the red veins going through your eyes. I kind of felt like that was what it was looking like for a moment. And I still kind of feel like it does look like that, but it just wasn't cohesive. It wasn't fitting in with like the other elements, almost like lightning or veins. And I wanted it to really like tie into this like hot anger feeling that I was putting into this. That's what I'm really feeling at the core. I need to make sure like that's being conveyed. I feel angry. I want to convey this hot, heated feeling that I have. With this like heated feeling, like I'm doing my best to not let it like take over my life. I know that tends to be a struggle for artists who create in this way. So I would say like there's an artist most of you have probably heard that does the same thing I'm currently doing with their art when they were alive. And that would be Frida Kahlo. She used a lot of symbolism for her art. What was she associating with different emotions, with different feelings? And how could she put that into her artwork and convey those emotions to other people? She had a very different style about it. Hers was very surreal. You know, that was big at the time, the surreal movement. And she created a lot of amazing artwork because of the way that she created. I was just pointing this out to somebody else in my comments, but I was just explaining to another viewer that Frida Kahlo is a big inspiration in my work. And I do see her inspiration. Like, what about her art that I like that I could use in my art? Which a lot of it's the symbolism, the surrealism, the expressing your emotions through your artwork and taking objects and things and concepts that we associate with different feelings and putting them together into a picture to just kind of let that emotion out and free and maybe help somebody else not feel so alone. They may see this artwork and go, I get it. I understand what the person was feeling when they created this. That emotion is coming out. There's lots of artists that I follow for that reason, because when I see their work, I could see in the past, they were struggling too. It isn't a new thing. I'm not alone.
Yo, you're not alone.
It's just something that really connects all artists, I feel. It just helps and helps you not feel so alone. We also know where that loneliness can lead some artists. But anyways, I digress. So now I got some new elements added into this. So just kind of explain them. So like that heatedness, that hot anger, definitely needed out the most. That was the main thing. Like there's so much going on right now that's making me angry. Like sticking my hand in my wet paint.
Oh man, the paint's still wet!
So let's get this out. And like, there's a lot, there's so much that is going on. And it just makes me so mad. There's not enough effort to try and stop this. And so that needed to come out. So I'm trying to associate what can I add that's like that's hot, heated, not okay, and feels unstoppable. Lava. I went in and added, of course, like the shading elements to make it look a little bit more textured and more flowing. I really like the way that came out. And then it kind of was looking like the lava was flowing into the center. I was at first thinking that it was flowing away from the center, but as I was creating, it looked like it was flowing into the center. So then I started going in this and creating like these pools of lava. So I was looking up different pictures of like, what does lava do when it's like a lava fall? There was some things like I was looking at to kind of like get a basic idea of how it would pool and puddle, and it's like pooling and it creates this like weird layered look. That's what I was kind of going for with this lava. So that's what I've just been doing, is I'm just touching up all of the lava, fixing up these colors, and just making it look a little bit more bright, more vivid, more fiery. And with those elements, of course, like I'm bringing out like some more of the things I'm seeing. So like this skull, I do see a skull here. I'm kind of helping bring those colors out a little bit more. And I feel at this point right here, I could be done, but something doesn't feel right. Something feels missing. And I kind of had to walk away for a moment because it just wasn't feeling complete. So I decided, because I wasn't quite sure the direction to take yet, I was just gonna go in and add some highlights to this lava. It was looking a little dull, and lava needs to be bright, it needs to be fiery. So I went in with like highlights, basically going in with this like super bright yellow white colors that I created and just outlining them all. This part is where I was really starting to struggle even more. I was getting tired of sitting in these emotions.
I'm just tired. Very tired.
I wanted to start a different painting. I wanted to just bury these emotions and say like, I will deal with you at a later time kind of thing. I want to do something a little bit happier. I want to do something a little bit more fun. I don't like this. And it would be so easy to just walk away from this painting, but that's not the point. And we can't always do that. That's not protecting my peace. Ignoring my emotions is not protecting my peace. And I don't want to do that. I've been there, done that. I need to stay on track with this. This is how I process these emotions. This is how I let them out. This is how I create space for them. I need to make sure I'm doing that this is my artistic journey. I need to make sure I'm staying true to that. So going back into some of the work by Frida Kahlo that really stuck with me and helped kind of push me in this direction with my art, I would say the Wounded Deer. I saw that piece for the first time, I want to say sometime when I was in high school. So I want to say it was 2003, which would have been my junior year in high school. So 2003, and that piece really stuck with me. There's a lot of symbolism in it. You know, the deer has Frida Kahlo's face. It's just inundated with arrows, it's bleeding, it's in a natural setting, and then from that piece, it's broken with her as this deer. And I feel like that really conveys the struggle she was going through dealing with pain. And I don't think a lot of people understand how much pain she was in her life. She was going through experimental surgeries to kind of help her because she had been in a really bad bus accident, and she really struggled with that pain. And she captured that with her art, and that stuck with me. That was when I really realized how important art can be, and that was kind of one of the things that helped me decide this is where I'm going to take my art. So now that you understand a little bit more about like where this is coming from and how Frida inspired me, you can go back into this with the final thing that I saw. I really wanted to add a blue element to this because I associate blue with a lot of things. I associate it with strength, but I also associate it with sadness. I associate it with almost like a dark, lonely feeling. And that was another really strong emotion with this. So I knew I needed to put in a blue element. I was struggling with what kind of blue element I was going to add. I almost wanted to add in some tears because I felt like, that's the easiest way to convey crying, but I didn't think that was right because there's a lot of moments I find myself where I want to cry, but I'm not in a situation where I can cry. And I do struggle with crying. I feel like this captures that a little bit better with what I'm struggling with, letting these tears out and how I see them, which is this more escaping feeling. Like I want to cry. I understand how the crying can be important, and I understand how it can be therapeutic. I've been in situations before where I just let it out and cried. And so like the tears almost feel like they're escaping me with these emotions. And so I felt like birds were really good at that, but I didn't want to just like put any bird. I just kind of created a bird that felt right. So like the beak doesn't look right. They look like they're hooked beaks, but the bottom beak also feels folded. And I feel like that's a great metaphor, like a bird's folded beak to kind of like almost silence it. That's what I'm kind of getting with this, because there's so many moments where I feel like I want to say something, I need to say something, and the words kind of escape me. And so I don't feel like I'm fully conveying what I want to in the most appropriate way. So like that's like I got a big mouth, I talk a lot, I ramble, but I don't always find the right words, and it doesn't always come across in a beautiful way. So like I felt like that aspect of the bird really worked well for this. There's also like, while it looks feathered, there's this stoniness about it. It just doesn't look quite right. It's a little hard for me to explain, but like, it looks like it was carved versus being an actual bird. And I felt like that really, like, I like stone because it's a good metaphor for being strong, but it's brittle and it breaks easily. And that's kind of how I feel I have to be, like, strong, even though I don't feel strong, I feel weak. And so like, I like that element of it. I gave it like these really big claws, and it has the ability to fight, but it's choosing to try to fly away, to try to escape. But it doesn't, even though it has the ability to fight, it's not fighting. It's not using its claws, it's using its wings. And this is the part, like, I feel like the birds have a lot more subconscious than conscious. So I don't exactly know why I picked birds. Birds felt right. I don't know exactly why I made it look like their beaks are kind of folded at the end. It just felt right. I don't know why I used big-headed, small-bodied birds. It just kind of felt right. It felt just like this is what was completing the painting the best. And this is what was completing it in the most impactful way for me. This is where I started getting a little less agitated with it. And I'm so close to the end now.
It's really not so bad.
But like, so much through this painting, I was not happy. I did not like the process of creating this one. I don't know how else to say it. It's just, it wasn't a fun painting. I'm happy with it. I'm glad I let this out. And I'm glad I'm not sitting in these emotions. It's not always fun. But I know if I'm struggling seeing some of the things that are going on, especially in the United States, which is like predominantly in my face because that's where I live, but it's not just the United States. It's also going on in so many different parts of the world. There's so much. And I want to be able to help everybody. It's just in my nature to be more of a giving, kind-hearted person. I want to help those that are less fortunate. I want to provide meaningful impact to those around me. I struggle with it because I feel like I can't do some of the things that need to be done to stop this from evil people just doing evil things in this world.
There's so much evil in the world.
Because there's no way to spin it. Good people do not find joy in the suffering of others. Good people do not find joy in ripping families apart, no matter the reason. And I know a lot of good people exist in this world, even though sometimes social media makes it really hard to see that these good people exist. I know they exist. And that's just all part of this. It's like these feelings that I'm feeling, these feelings that are bubbling within me. That's what's coming out onto campus. Keeps me grounded and keeps me from going crazy with seeing so much going on in the world while trying to stay informed, but not over consuming. If you're struggling with that, like, I hope you understand, like, you're not alone. You can get through this. We can get through this. We just got to make sure we continue to speak out against some of the horrendous things happening in the world right now, because that cannot be our normal. So anyways, now that I have rambled there, I feel like I have gotten to a point where I like this. It feels done. It feels complete. I don't know what exactly I'm seeing. I feel like now there's a definite like orientation for the painting. Before I didn't feel like there was. I could do it any other way and it would work. But no, now I feel like there's a specific orientation. I'm happy with that. I feel accomplished, completed. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on my signature here, my little Yeti footprint. As you can see, there it is, Yeti. And yeah, so now that the painting is done, now that I've ranted and raved and rambled on, I feel like we can finally do a final review. I know I have probably already said this at some point within the voiceover I'm going to make, but I really did not enjoy this painting. I felt compelled to finish it. I feel relieved that I finished it. I did not enjoy the emotions I had to sit in with this painting. It's just a reminder, take time you need to process what is important to you, who you are as a person, and how to ensure that those parts of you are safe and free to express themselves in the future. It is done. I don't hate the painting. I kind of like the painting. I like the jarring colors. The jarring colors really I feel like it conveys what's going on, the jarring emotions, the jarring colors, they're symbolic. To me, even though they're so jarring, they work. They do what they're supposed to do. Especially because I didn't know what I was gonna make. I'm just kind of going with what I'm feeling. And so this is just how it ended up coming out. I didn't go into this with an idea of what colors I was going to use. I did not go into this with an idea of what I was going to create. It's just letting my emotions tell me what they want. So there's things that I see in this, and they represent different aspects of my emotions. Some I do recognize. Others, not so much. It's probably more of my subconscious speaking through me. Some of the things that I have seen make me so angry that they're happening to other people in this world. And I believe that we are better and smarter than the things that I am seeing. And some of it's been seen online. Some of it is from friends who are experiencing it. Other things are just my own personal experiences and things that I have seen. Those kinds of things, they make me hot. They make me angry. So I feel like that's where the lava came from, that anger, that heat. That you feel flush when you're really angry. You just feel so inconsequential, doing what we're told is the right thing to try to protect other people. And it feels like such a big task. I still do it. It just feels like such a big task. And I almost feel like I don't matter. I know I do. This is just... That's where this meltingness comes from. Then you have the birds. And I almost feel like they're tears trying to escape from the eye that's there. We keep trying to hold back our tears for what's going on to seem like we are put together, especially for those that have younger humans around us. You try to hide yourself and appear strong and put together, you know what's going on and you know how to make it through this. We don't. And it's frustrating, and it almost makes you want to scream and cry. And so I feel like the blue of the birds, they're like tears trying to escape, but they're trapped. They are forever in this. They cannot escape this. I literally painted them into their fate. And then just the broken landscape, I feel like us as humans, we are very fractured and broken. And I know it's not just a new thing. It isn't. We have access to it, so we can see it happening in real time, more so than any other person throughout history could have. So it seems like it's happening more. But if you look into history, it isn't happening more. It's been happening since the dawn of humanity. I feel like that's also very symbolic of what we're currently seeing and dealing with, and how it just feels like it wasn't like this 20 years ago. It wasn't like this 30 years ago. It wasn't like this 100 years ago. It was. It just wasn't being reported. It wasn't getting out to the masses. No one had phones or an ability to immediately contact somebody not in that location to tell them what's going on. That just didn't exist. There is lots of symbolism here. And that's why I do this series. It helps me put together what I'm feeling, what I'm struggling with. And I feel a little bit more grounded. And I hope that I could share that with you guys out there. So if you're wondering about the name, Repression. I'm trying to repress. I'm trying to repress things that I'm seeing that I don't like. I'm trying to repress emotions that I don't like. I'm trying to repress things about myself and things about what I'm seeing and things about other people so that I could just function with what's going on in life right now. Function as in society, fine. Like nothing's going on. So I feel like Repression is very fitting for this piece. Like I said, I hated the process of this. I'm happy with the painting itself, the way it looks. I like it. Hated the process though. But I gave space to those emotions I don't like. And that's what we're supposed to do so we don't bottle them up, right? This is why it's so important to talk to therapists. Get a psychologist if you need to go that level, but talk to somebody in a professional manner so that they can help you find ways and tools to use to make things a little easier for you to process. This is what works for me. If you know something that works for you, let me know. I know writing is a big one that works for a lot of people, but you can let me know. Anyways, please be safe out there. Don't get lost. Don't get stolen. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye, you beautiful people.